Hi, this is Jeff here in Spaces Laces. This week, I'm going to start out a little game called Name This Place. Before we go into asking you guys if you can name this place, I want to give out a little context. So in life, whether it's guys or girls, children, people usually avoid dangerous places. Kind of a human innate defense mechanism, if you would say, where you avoid dangerous places. You don't like to be around people that could harm you, things like that. So guys, girls usually stay away from nightclubs, public places, bars, anywhere where there's stabbings, shootings, rapes, anything of that sort. You don't like to be around bad people or bad situations. It's just human life. People normally avoid those situations. So with that being said, can you name a place where over 100,000 people go on the weekends? They go with their family, friends, they tailgate, they have a good time. But it's the same place where children were unfortunately sexually molested. I'll give you a second to guess the name of this place. If you named or answered Creepy Valley or Beaver Stadium, then you are correct. And let's just get this out here in the open. It's Penn State Hate Week. Pitt is playing at Penn State at Creepy Valley this weekend. They're probably going to lose by 30 points. I have the game going 42-10 Penn State. They're going to cover the spread. Penn State's going to win by more than 21 points this weekend. It's going to be ugly. Penn State's going to go up, get on them, put a hurting on Pitt. I watched Pitt last weekend. Oh, man, it was bad. Youngstown State barely pulled that off in overtime. Penn State looked good. Was a little iffy on their defense at times. Akron moved the ball, but when you shut someone out, there's not much you can say. They put up 52 points. I do not like Pitt's chances this weekend in Creepy Valley. I really hope they go out, surprise me, shock the world. If you win back-to-back games against Penn State in a rivalry series, man, would that be big. But with that being said, Penn State comes into Heinz Field last year. Pitt was the underdog, and Pitt got on them early, often, never let off the gas, won 42-39. And oh man, that was probably other than an AFC Championship game a couple years ago, and the Steelers played at home. I attended. I can't remember off the top of my head which game that was. This was the best game I was ever at in my entire life. I had a few adult beverages, was really into the game. Pitt put it on them. That was probably the best game I've ever been at. I was with my family. It was a hell of a game. Unfortunately, this weekend I'm getting back with my family, watch a little Pitt Penn State football. I'm not going to have the same great experience, all that excitement. Penn State's going to blow them out of the water. But the reason why I brought up that little dig at Penn State at first, I saw an article this morning. The Pitt News tweeted out, basically saying, there's no room for the Joe News shit, the Pixar didn't happen thing. There's a lot of things that are said and going on in the last couple of years with the whole Jerry Sandusky thing at Penn State. But I just want to go out there. I never talked about it on a platform like this before, so I just want to give my opinions. Just want to put it out there. But my dad's huge Penn State fan. I actually grew up being a Michigan fan, just so we can have some, fun afternoons watching college football at home. I'm rooting for the team that he doesn't like. Just being a little shithead kid essentially. But grew up, watched a lot of Penn State football. Grew up in western central PA, right on the border of central PA, where I grew up near Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And honestly, it's probably 65-35 Penn State to Pitt fans, maybe 60-40. Maybe I'm giving Penn State a little too much there. There's a lot of people where I grew up, Penn State fans like my dad. My dad actually has to this day a picture with Joe Pa in the living room, signed by him. The picture of both of them together. I just don't understand the Penn State cult. I've never understood it. Growing up, a lot of my good friends talked a lot of shit over the years. They're Penn State fans. I just don't get it. Never have. Never. It's unbelievable how charismatic and how much energy Penn State fans, the Penn State diehards, the Penn State cult, whatever you want to refer to them, they have it. They have something special. Going to Beaver Stadium, I went a couple of times as a kid. Man, it's a fun place to watch football. There's no doubt about it. But the problem I have with Penn State football is they handled the whole situation in 2012, or no, it was 2011, I believe, actually, I'm pretty sure I was a freshman in college when it came out. I was a Pitt student. And seeing, I saw all the stuff on social media. I knew all the people from home. I knew all the people from Central PA, all their opinions, all their statements. Just made that, that divide larger. It was just very polarizing for me. When that happened, I just got divided. I just thought that the whole Penn State thing and everything that they were doing was completely distasteful. They went about it with the wrong approach. I understand where they're coming from, being a deep, huge football fan. But the thing was, the fact that most people overlooked, and I don't know how you do, is that the football program was used essentially as a recruiting device to molest children for child molestation. Jerry Sandusky used it to recruit children. And he, the locker room thing, he used the football facility too. It blows my mind. And then, the Academic Institute also at fault. From everything that I've read over the years, I think it's kind of common knowledge now that Joe Paterno knew what was going on. Didn't know what to do because it was a lifelong friend of his. Kind of just reported what he could, and he's like, all right, it's your guys' problem now. I was like, I don't know, the whole thing is just so absurd to me. I think it's just some fantasy bullshit, honestly. Because I know, all right, let's just say hypothetically, this situation happens at any local high school in Pennsylvania. Grew up in Pennsylvania, okay, happens at any local high school. That football program is gone forever. They are not, there's no way they have football again. The school is going to, go out and basically, I don't even know, but they're going to just detach themselves from the situation quicker than anything in the world. But it happens at Penn State. And, the school goes to back the football program and all this stuff. And the diehard fans are, Joe didn't know, Joe did the right thing. Guess what? At the end of the day, multiple children's lives, families ruined forever. Because I understand it was one individual, one heinous, horrible, one of the worst people in my generation took advantage of kids. I mean, it's a hard topic to talk about, but I feel like the university was at fault, the football programs at fault. It was such a bad thing. If I'm Penn State, if I'm one of the people who are in charge of Penn State, I'm like, all right, let's take a step back here. Let's maybe not play football this year. Let's maybe bring it back in a couple of years, because I know the NCAA threatened, the death penalty for the football team. You know what? They should have. They should have gave him a death penalty. But at the end of the day, the only reason Penn State football still survived the whole situation, the scandal, was because of how much money they make. Let's not kid anyone. Let's not throw out the moral compass here and try to, navigate these treacherous waters. They literally did it because they made money. It is a huge, so much money is made over Penn State football. It's unbelievable. When you fill a stadium with 120, or I don't even know, it's 115, 105,000 people almost every weekend for the entire fall. You have your huge Big Ten network contract. It is all about the money. All these people out here, just, diehard Joe fans, diehard Penn State football. It's like, guys, give me a break. Take a step back. Remove yourself from the situation. Be an outsider looking in. Pretend you're some dude from California who turns on ESPN and sees this whole situation playing out. You know what you're going to think? You're going to think very poorly of Penn State and the bad decisions many adults made. Adults who knew about the situation, adults who didn't know. But anyway, regardless, a lot of adults made very, very bad decisions over this whole situation. And I think that is very unfortunate, and I think it's very distasteful. But to this day, Penn State fans were mad when they took down Joe's statue. Come on, give me a break, dude. He had to have, it's documented that he knew. Regardless, if you're very skeptical, you're a fake news person, whatever, fine. But at the end of the day, if you think about it logically, you're the head coach. Dude, the head coach in high schools know everything. My high school head coach knew everything was going on. You're telling me Joe Paterno, one of the best coaches in the nation, with one of the most prestigious, best football programs in the nation, didn't know what was going on in his own locker room, you're fucking crazy. There's no way he didn't know. Doesn't make any sense. You can say he's older, he didn't. Stupid. He knew. And it's unfortunate because so many lives are ruined. And like getting back to the whole reason I brought up the Pitt news thing, they were saying essentially, I'm really paraphrasing here, but what I took away from it was they're saying like there's no reason for this. Like if you're a mother of one of the children's lives are ruined and you see someone with a Joe New shirt on walking the street, like that's going to bring up a lot of emotions in you. Rightfully so. I understand it. It's not good. It's not. I don't know. It's a weird situation, but I'll say this: it's just so many people are so easily ready to forget this, sweep it on the rug, and just go out there and scream "We are," and you're blue and white. It's just like, come on, guys! Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, and it's like the whole Central PA is just oblivious to the whole situation. All they care about is their Nittany Lions on Saturday afternoon winning football games. It's like, come on, guys. There's some things out there a little bigger than that. Like, just I don't even know, this kid in the Greek life at Penn State who, tragically died in their fraternity house. Like, is there really need for fraternities on campus anymore? It's 2017. There's social media. There's so many ways you can make friends these days. You don't need to go pay your, I don't even know, $2,000 a year to buy fake friends. Like, come on. Like, Penn State. And I saw a documentary on this. I was on Netflix. Can't remember what the name of it was, but it's like this country has a Penn State problem, and it's weird to say that out loud. But with the whole football thing, football fanatics, and then you have the whole Greek life thing. Like Penn State is a little microcosm of what's wrong. There's a lot of things wrong with this country, but certain little things that are wrong with society these days, and it's just hard to watch. I'm glad that I ended up going to an institute that cares about academics, and I know I get a lot of hate for this. People are like, "Oh, your football team sucks." The football team's been pretty bad the last couple of years. I'll admit it. But at Pitt, it seems like at least they strive for, the academics being prestigious. Not letting these kind of situations happen. I know at Pitt they had some, cases that happened when I was in college, Greek life. Well, they pretty much got rid of Greek life at Pitt. So it's just, I know I mean a lot of hate for this, but many years of anger built up over this. Like, it just doesn't make sense. As a competent, sane human being, you look at the situation, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is so much bigger in football. They should have. And then you have the argument, I remember years ago, like, well, what about the players? It had nothing to do with the coaches weren't there, the players weren't there. It's like, yeah, you're right. Don't punish them. That's fine. I agree. Guess what you do? This is pointing to a couple episodes ago when I brought up student athletes. If these kids are student athletes, you know what you do? You honor their scholarship to Penn State, let them go, get their degree, pay for the entire thing. Or you know what you do? You let them transfer and don't hold any, the stupid transfer rules they have. There's two easy ways to do it. It's like, and then you're like, well, the coaches, like, you're ruining their lives, their chances to make a living. It's like, they're a good enough coach, they can go coach somewhere else. I know it sucks for their family having to relocate to another university, but if you're good at your job, you're going to get another one. Maybe I'm oversimplifying that, but if you're good at what you do, you're going to get another job. So if these college players were good enough to play at Penn State, they can play at other Division I schools, D2 schools. They're student athletes, pay for the education. If they don't really care about the education at Penn State and they want to transfer to play football elsewhere, let them transfer. Let another university pay for their academics. It's just so crazy. I remember that was like one of the biggest things. Like, it's not fair to the kids. Not fair to the kids. You know what? It's not fair to the families. Not fair to the kids that were negatively is not even a strong enough word for it, but their lives ruined and affected over one man using the system, Penn State, using the infrastructure of the football program and the university to do heinous crimes and then essentially get away with it because it was swept on the rug for 20 years? I don't know. It just seems crazy to me. I know I'm getting a lot of shit for this. I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but it's just my stance. It doesn't make sense. Like, just heinous crimes going on. People turn a blind eye, and it just blows my mind. You'd hope that people would be better than that. People would have better morals and step up, talk out against it. But, it's 2017 now, and I'm looking on ESPN a couple weeks ago, and they're showing a clip about Penn State, and it's like, we're back. Happy Valley is back. Penn State football. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys, like, doesn't make any sense. Also, they took away the wins at Penn State. I don't even think they should have took away the wins in the first place because I thought it was stupid. Like, those games were won. The championships, the bowl games, they're all won. We know who won them. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's take them away. It seems stupid to me. But what even seems more dumb, and which blows my mind, is that those wins and stuff getting reinstated. I could be wrong. Someone fact checked me. That's fine. But I'm pretty sure that all the wins and all the records and stuff for Joe Paterno, they gave him back, essentially. Blows my mind. What about USC? Does Reggie Bush get to keep his Heisman now? The NCAA has been so inconsistent since 2008 with their rulings, decisions. Like, a couple weeks ago, talked about the kicker from UCF, I believe. Like, what the hell? That dude's just trying to, make videos and do his own thing. Not going to be on scholarship. You take Reggie Bush's Heisman. You impose sanctions on USC. But, 3 or 4 years after some kids got, if people found out that kids were sexually molested at Penn State, let's give them their wins back. Hell, doesn't matter. Like, the Penn State fans and everyone, they deserve those wins. They want those wins. It's just absurd. I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but the whole situation is just mind-blowing. Please, if you want to get an interesting take on it, please watch the documentary on Netflix. I can't think of the name right now. I wish I did because I'd be plugging it. It's a lot of shit happened up there in State College. And I just don't know how, it's 2017, 6 years went by, and nothing ever happened. Pitt fans wear Joe New shirts. And I think it's kind of a good thing to remember. It's come on, guys, the guy's fucked up. And I know college kids and people, they're just doing it to piss people off and start Twitter fights and all this stupid shit. But it's just come on, you guys really, really, really fucked up. Could have, when it initially happened, it just came out and all right, guys, really fucked this one up. We're sorry. Here's the facts. We're going to step away from football for a while. We're going to we're going to worry about academics here. We're an academic institute. We're going to, we're going to revamp our image. No, they just went on the offensive. It was we are, and all this stupid shit. It's guys, I'm hoping you guys had the right intention to, didn't want the image of Penn State degrees and all the things that go around an academic institute. You didn't want those to be tarnished by this horrid man. That makes sense. Makes total sense. But I just think you had the right intention, but you missed badly. Just was bad. I don't know how else to say other than that. You guys missed the point. You really did, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of people out there. A lot of people outside of, Pennsylvania looking at the situation, going to college at Pitt. I know I'm biased. But people out of state, they're what the hell is going on? You guys care way too much about football in the state. And I'm yeah, you're right. I cared a lot growing up. Still do care a lot about football. And it just hearing outsiders' perspectives in college was very interesting. And that's why, I took this hard stance on Penn State years ago and stuff, because hearing someone else talk about it's you know what? You're right. There's something missing. There's something wrong there. Pennsylvania has a Penn State problem. I'd say maybe this country does, society. I don't know, but I don't like how it was handled. It was bad. Just saying, he ruined so many families and kids' lives, and it's just a sad, sad thing. And there's no words. There's nothing you can say. It's like when you go to someone's funeral and you try to give someone your condolences. There's nothing you can say. You just got to be there. You just got to try your best. That's the whole thing about Penn State. They just would have tried their best and bit their tongues and didn't rally behind the school and Joe Paterno and having thousands of kids outside his house screaming and chanting his name. I don't know what the right approach was in that situation, talking about like there's nothing right you can say. Maybe I contradicted myself a little there, but I just think Penn State handled it poorly. I don't know what they could have done to do better. It is such a horrific and awful situation, but they missed the mark. I hate Penn State. It's going to get crushed this weekend, but, I'm going to be up there. I'm going to be cheering, talking some shit. I'm going to try to keep it colorful, try to be, cool about it, because I do have a lot of Penn State fans. Hopefully tailgate with some of my friends from high school. See a lot of people. I'm assuming my dad's going to be wearing Penn State stuff. I'm going to be wearing Pitt as I'm rocking my Larry Fitzgerald jersey. It's going to be a lot of fun. Talking about Larry Fitzgerald, I hope the Cardinals do well this weekend. I'm all in on the Cardinals and Packers in the NFC. Hopefully Carson Palmer has a good year. I got Larry Fitzgerald, one of my fantasy teams. Talking about fantasy, doing DraftKings now. I want to start doing some bits and stuff about betting. I'm all in on DraftKings, put a good bit of money on. Also doing some sports betting, which, it's kind of 2017, but kind of shady. But did well last weekend, ended up in the plus, won 3 for 2 of my bets, put a decent chunk on Michigan. They came through out of Boys Go Blue. I haven't looked at all the college lines this weekend, but I took New England tonight. Wow, I couldn't think. I took Tom Brady, New England. I believe it's at Foxborough. Took them tonight, playing the Chiefs. Like their chances. It was even money bet. Gotta love those even money bets. Excited for the game. Not going to be able to watch it. I'll be at work, but I will be listening and keeping track of the scores. No doubt about that. But I want to start talking a little betting here. Unfortunately, this weekend, some of the boys I want to have on talking about betting and stuff like that. We had a lot of fun this weekend. I'll say that. I had a few adult beverages. Didn't necessarily have the time. We played some backyard sports. That's the one thing reason why I named this Spacers Laces. Sports are fun. We're getting older. I know I'm in my mid-20s at this point. My friends are. We played tackle football this weekend. We had a hell of a time. The best part is, all right, let's pick teams, Spacers or Laces. And I started giggling. Some of my friends giggle too because they know I'm doing this. And it's like, all right, that's a cool name. Like, that's why I did it, But played some backyard football over Labor Day. Played in some played wiffle ball. Played a wiffle ball tournament. I'll tell you this. I still got it a little bit, but holy hell, I'm getting old. I was sore this weekend from playing all-day football and all-day baseball back-to-back. It's like, getting rough, it's getting old. So I think it's good that, my friends and I are still trying to stay in shape, stay young, have some fun, play some backyard sports, throw the pigskin around, throw the wiffle ball. But I think that's all for Spaces Laces this week. Well, I'm really hoping Pitt wins this weekend. I know the Steelers are going to win against the Browns, so hope Pitt wins. Michigan's playing Cincinnati. I'm hoping for Michigan. They'll get a W too. I'm pretty confident in that. Hopefully Pitt can pull an upset. Just last time I think they were this large of underdogs would have been 2007 when they played at Morgantown against WVU when Pat White, Steve Slayton, those boys were number 2 in the nation, and Pitt came through with that awesome, I think it was 13-9 upset. Hey, hell. Maybe Pat Narduzzi's going to have some magic in store for this weekend and Pitt can pull up an upset, but I don't see it happening. I'm going to be betting heavy on Penn State this weekend. Penn State's another one I'm taking. I'm going to take Penn State. I'm going to take the under in that one, too. I believe it's pretty high. Pitt's not going to score many points, so definitely going to be taking Penn State in the under in that game. Some of the other ones, not sure yet. I like game time decisions with betting. I like to see where that line moved to, who's betting on what, what the public's going, what's Vegas got. I don't know. It's going to be a fun weekend. Hoping for a Pitt W. This is Jeff Meyer at Spaces Laces. Have a good weekend.